he's gonna find it. Well, there's treasure waiting. It's just been hiding. Yeah, you know he'll comb the beach and he'll unearth metal. Calabash digger will find something special. He'll dig, he'll dive to find that treasure. Welcome to Calabash Digger Adventures.
Been doing got some exciting information to share with you tonight about the HF2 coil. These are some things that we know for sure about the coil, and one thing that I know for sure about the coil, I just got to say it, you can't hunt program fast pitch tones with a forward discrimination in a heavy iron sight. That's 100% for sure that I know. No, anyway, let's get on. We got some interesting things to talk about tonight. So the HF2 coil is here, and let me tell you a funny. So you see this box right here? This contains another HF2 coil. Well, what happened? Well, I think I told you guys this. FedEx lost my first coil, so I've got another coil. XP replaced it, and I'm going to loan that to Buddy and let him do some beach hunting with it in the locals. But what I wind up doing is putting that on my dive unit, and we'll see what happens with that. But let me get some shout outs, and we're going to get to the live and get to what's going on with this HF2 coil. What's going on, West Coast of Tech? Keep them straight, my friend. Keep them straight. If I got plenty of volume on my mics, can you guys hear? Yeah. Did you guys hear anything that I said? I just did a whole spiel and didn't even have my microphone on. Oh my gosh. Did you hear any of it? FedEx lost my coil, so I got an extra coil. Gonna loan it to Buddy to go hunting with it. One thing for sure, you know, this HF coil, we're gonna get to it, but man, what a mess up. What a mess up. My coil, shout outs first, and then we'll get to it. Westco, keep them straight. Dirt Devil and Detect. What's going on, man? Don't tread on me. Good luck with that. What's going on, Metal Detect, North Wisconsin? Mikey, what's going on? David, what's up? PA Digger, what's going on, man? How swinging the HF? Well, we're going to dig into it. I got some video footage. I've got some finds from my last dive and this, that, and the other. But I've got video footage of the coil that's not been seen before, hunting a heavy colonial iron sight. And then I got some beach footage that's in the video, but I wanted to show it in the live so we could talk about it. All dressed up, no place to go. Oh, yeah. Well, I got my fancy shirt on my wife bought me, but I got my gym shorts on while I'm sitting in this chair. You guys lucky I ain't sitting there in my boxer shorts. What's going up, BK? What's going on, Randy? JC, Buddy, what's going on? Buddy's going to get this coil. I got it in, man, so when you get ready for it and the tide gets right, let me know and you can come get it for a few days. Cool. You are a little quiet on audio. Did my audio come back up now? Oh, I think I'm peaking now. Let me cut it down. How's that right there, guys? That should be about right. I'm talking loud. Okay. Yeah, forgot Beach Club. Can you dig it? Damien, if I missed you guys, I've kind of had a little bit of glitch got me through off here. Okay, what's going on, Blasted Cat? Well, let's dive into this HF2 coil. What do we know for sure about this coil? Well, there's one thing that I know for sure about this coil. Me and Carolina Digger went back, and I'm going to show you guys real early on here a video clip of this today. We went back to a site to where we hunted all winter, and I could not use the Deus 2 in multi-frequency in one part of the site. I actually had to use Deus Mono. I can tell you this right here, that this HF2 coil right here is the best EMI mitigated coil I have ever seen. It spanks the Manicore for EMI mitigation, and that was the champion. That is a fact, and I can say that sitting here today, this is the best EMI mitigator I have ever seen. On the beach, I hunted 2 days. I've been to the beach 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I hunted at Myrtle Beach 2 days in front of the high rises. You know how many EMI issues I had with a sensitivity of 95? Let me just show you. 0. So I can sit here today and tell you that if you're hunting high EMI, this coil is the best that I have ever seen. Period, point blank, and best over in my yard. You know, that's a good place to test it. It is by far better than the M8 coil when sensitivity is run up. I can run the beach program out there with a 95 sensitivity in my yard. And the reason I bring up the beach program because they tend to be the most interference with EMI in my yard. The Manicore, not happening. Manicore's been the best, but that coil right there is the best I've ever seen. So we can say that for sure. Let me get back over here and give some shout outs. Good. Glad I got the sound. What's going on, Lance? Ohio Fred. Yeah, man, everything's going good. Been really just testing this coil, looking at this coil. I wanted to show you about a 4-minute clip video here of where we were at today. Then we can talk about the coil. We can look at some beach footage I have. And if you have any questions about the coil, I'm going to tell you how I set it up at the beach, how I ran it in the iron, the pros and the cons of the coil at this time in this beta version. We'll talk about that. And stay tuned for this right here. Here's the hunt that we went on today. It's just about 4 minutes, but I want you to see. Carson Chris, this right here will probably interest you specifically because, let me go back up here to my main scene where everybody can see their comments. This will probably interest you very, very much, Carson Chris. So check this 4-minute clip out. We'll be back and we'll talk about it and we'll look at on the beach. Well, I may run this clip in with a 1-minute clip of the beach too, so it'll be about 5 minutes, but we need to see this so we can kind of set the stage for the live. So check this out.
So these ain't interfering at all.
No, they ain't even talking.
That's different.
It's different, right? No EMI. Ground is so neutral here that it pretty much just don't even change on the ground phase when I balance it. Just listen. This constant barrage of iron. And the whole site all the way out through there is like that. So stay tuned. GoPro Stopper was talking off camera. This is a horrendous site, man. And I've been on some rough sites, but this is rough. Can we pull something off of it with these small coils? Well, let's see. GoPro Stopper. All right, guys, listen. I got the iron volume cut down. I'm gonna cut it up just a minute for you guys so you guys can hear what's going on. Here we go. It's like that as far as you can see. All right, that's killing my ears. GoPro, stop recording. Yeah, man, these nails are so tough in here, man. Toughest sight I've ever seen right here. GoPro, stop recording. 53. It's in a bunch of trash, probably. Oh, that's a 54. Colonial shoe buckle frame. Low 42. Did that what'd you say that thing beeped in at? 20. A 20? Yeah, I got a 42. Don't really think too much of them most of the time, but I have seen plenty of buttons, Colonial buttons come in at that. Down in the low. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think I did it. Yeah, come over here and celebrate with me.
All right.
I think I did it. Is that it right there?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know, is it a cuff link or something?
What is that? So it's an underwear button, ain't it?
Yep, 4-hole button.
4.
That's still old.
Well, that's it. Look, we've been over this site with the 9-inch coils and we pounded it. So, button a piece off of this. Look at that tiny target out of all that iron.
That's pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, that was pretty good there. And you know something? I've been driving this coil really hard all day, but that target right there, man, it just like that little target, that shoe buckle, it fired off on it. You know what I mean? So my suggestion, guys, may be this: when you get this thing and you're learning it, I've dug some iron today, but I've been pushing it. You know what I mean? And Carolina Digger's he's an expert with that coil there. This is the first time I've really run this hard in a really iron infested relic site. The other one that I ran it in but it had modern trash mix. This is just straight Colonial iron. So trying to get used to it, trying to make excuses because he's kicking my butt. So stay tuned. GoPro, stop recording. Right, boys, that right there is how you test a metal detector coil. You come out on the rainiest day of the season, you go to the most beat up site, you take your competitor who's an expert with the machine and you go head to head and let the consequences be whatever they are. But we're getting wet. Gotta go. GoPro, stop recording. All right, guys. I figured Carson Chris would like to see this. Let me set the stage. I talked with Carolina Digger. We picked the hardest site that we know about with the highest EMI. Like I said, I could only use the Deus 2 in single frequency on that one particular part of it. And went to it. We had hammered it all winter with the 9-inch coils, 11-inch coils, Deus Mono. Other parts I used fast program when I got away from the EMI. He used the M8 coil, the M9 coil, the 11-inch coil. We beat the mess out of this place. We probably dug 40 non-ferrous targets today. I'll have a full video up. There wasn't a whole lot of killer finds, but we were still popping non-ferrous targets. What did I figure out today? I tried and I experimented with -3 silencer, 6.8 disc with my relic program from everywhere from 1.5 to 3 reactivity. 1.5 when I got out away from the core of it and the iron was thinner, to 2.5, 3 when I got up on the core. I can dig with a -3, but you will pay the price. About 2 hours into the hunt, I went to silencer 2. I was trying to see if the coil could yield me a find, being open and having the most advantage possible. So on a site that you've pulled good stuff from in the past, it is possible to use a -3, but be mindful, you will pay a penalty in heavy iron. Or where I was at, I paid a penalty for using that today. And, you know, how much performance enhancement is it over silencer 2, 6.8? Well, that's debatable. I know that one thing, my hunt was a little more enjoyable when I bumped that silencer up. But what I proved today was this coil and the Manticore coil, I didn't get embarrassed with this coil versus the M8 coil. We compared targets off off and on camera. You'll see in the full video that I post in the next day or so of the hunt. He outdid me. He found more better finds than I did. He got 3 buttons, and he got a couple of other little pieces. So he beat me, but he's swift with that manicore. But comparing them head to head, they were really doggone close. When the Deus would false, the manicore would false. When the manicore would false, the Deus would false. When one hit one, the other one hit one. So I didn't find any scenarios where one was ahead of the other in that particular style of hunting. Deus 2 HF coil ran pretty doggone good considering what kind of place that is. It's a 1700s, early 1700s plantation that ran up past the Civil War, probably into the early 1900s, and just horrendous. I would say, and me and Carolina Digger talked about this, I would say that is it's probably the toughest site that I know of in my area. I've hunted down South Carolina on some pretty tough sites too, and I think this matches the rice plantations, and it's very, very similar. I think this plantation was more into naval stores than it was rice production. So very, 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 very tough environment. HF2 coil performed. So let's jump back over here and see what everybody's saying. To Melda Tech, North Wisconsin, to find non-ferrous at that place is a success. Whether it's a shotgun shell, any non-ferrous, because it has been beaten, and it's really kind of open right now because they're going to develop it, and it's been beaten for 30 years. Everybody's known about it. People's had access to it, and it's just been well, let me get back up here. Let me see where we're at. What's going on, Mark? Let's see here, buddy. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate the kind comments, man. I appreciate it. Ordered mine from Big Boy Hobbies. They told me it'll be a couple months at least before mine will ship, paid in full. If you had ordered it with Ryan, he wouldn't have took your money till he shipped your coil. But, that way if one come available, you wouldn't, well, anyway. But, however, Big Boy's Hobbies, I've bought stuff from him in the past too. But Ryan doesn't take your money. That guy right there, he doesn't take your money until he ships your stuff. 60-day return policy, and he pays return shipping. So, just saying. John, what's going on? UPS messed up again. Supposed to get my... Oh, no. Well, let me tell you what happened here. So, I am testing the HF2 coil for diving and land. So, I don't have to break my machine down. They sent me one coil. It got lost, and they shipped me another one, and they decided to ship me another one for my diving unit, which was very nice of them. So I don't have to break it down, and I can test it underwater. What's going on, Slash? And I can test it underwater. But this is I lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna use that one as a loaner for everybody. But yeah, FedEx can mess up. And UPS too. Yeah, I would say it was a success. Pre-ordered April 30th. The like button 65 in here. Yeah, you guys hit the like button, man. If you like it. Hey, I appreciate it, Carson Chris. Yeah, appreciate it. To trying this side I found where there's 3 old foundations. I found some good stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, and let me talk about this real quick. I ran it in 89 kilohertz, 88, 89, whatever that highest band is. 53. I tested both. And I'm going to tell you this. My tests on this site are inconclusive. I don't know if we gain anything from. Well, I need to remember this to tell Carson Chris. On buttons and stuff, I don't really know, but I know this. And Carson Chris, think about what I'm about to say here. I dug a lot of shallow, smaller stuff with 88. I'm talking about lead balls and just a lot of shallow stuff with 88. So the question is will 88 yield you one of those mass gold coins over 53? And I think that out there where you live, I don't think your stuff gets super deep. 88 might if you can run it in that harder ground, but I can't tell you which is better for that type of scenario yet. I remember Gary saying in the UK that he only found 53. He hadn't found 88 useful yet. But I'm undecided. 88 in that type of heavy iron scenario or 53. I don't know yet as far as the kilohertz goes and which one yields the best results. But, okay, can't speak to the HF coil, but in sites like that heavy iron with the FM, I would turn down the audio response and sensitivity. Easier to hit. Yes. And I did dial the coil back. I lowered the audio response. I normally run it on a 5 in cleaner ground. I run it to a 4. I know that some people will run it on 3 or 2, but I like mine about a 4. I did cut my machine back as Carolina Digger cut the Manicore back substantially too, because that's a horrendous sight. I mean, you guys seen the iron content on it. It was really, really bad. What was the base? Fast. That was the base program that I was running there. Let's see. In your opinion, is it for hunting on our beaches? Okay. Whatever happened to the Tesarci MD, who knows? I'm not that machine to me is just not something that I would use. I can speak and say that I've had friends tell me that it performs pretty decent on the beach, but it's got these ping pong tones that don't have any options on it, and it's just not something that I would mess with. In your opinion, is okay, Brian? I'm going to show a clip, and then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show y'all a 1-minute clip of the beach. So here it goes, and then we'll talk about, is it worth buying for the beaches? I'm hunting 89 kilohertz. You guys can see it right here, so you know that I'm not bull crapping. Saw sensitivity 8, reactivity 2. I'm hunting the wash, man. So, you go figure. GoPro, stop recording. It's 89. Let's see what it does in the water. A little bit of... Dude, you can hunt with that in the water. I'm gonna have to come back and experiment with that, because I believe that you can run that sucker. Yeah, I might come back and look at that right there. Go green signal there, boys. Just cut it out and look at it. Holy crap. Check it out. Yeah. I told you it's a strange signal. Another piece of bling. Yeah. Strange signal there. Strange flippity flip down here. Look where I'm at. Look where I'm at, man. With 89 kilohertz. Look at that. Yeah, right? GoPro right here in the wash. That's 89 kilohertz running in the wash. You know, I need to do some experimenting, and I'll come back to the beach in a few days with the Manicore and put the antenna on this. I'm gonna see if I can run that out in the surf. Stay tuned to that video coming up. All right, guys. So, is it worth buying? Well, for the beach. I can tell you this right here, because this is a big deal. And for all the guys that have joined late, I think I got 68 in here. Let me state some things that I can say for certainty that I know. This HF2 coil is the best EMI mitigator that I have ever seen. It beats the Manicore hands down on EMI mitigation. Hunted down there at that beach, Brian, for 2 days down there on the lower end below the Ferris wheel at Myrtle Beach with all those high rises. And I'm going to say it again for all the guys who have joined late. You know how many EMI blasts or blurps I had? You're not going to believe this. 0 at 95 sensitivity. Went today to that relic site where I couldn't, on that one part, I could not use a Deus 2 in multi-frequency. It just got ate up by EMI, and I could use the Manicore there. And Carolina Digger used the Manicore 9-inch coil with multi-frequency. This coil, 0 EMI issues. It is by far the best EMI mitigation I have ever seen. I hope that they redesign the 9-inch coils and the 11-inch coils in this fashion. I don't know. I just said I hope. I've not asked them about that, but me and Sharpshooter was talking about it, and I'm like, I hope they do that. It is spooky how good this thing handles EMI. 2, a second point about the beach. This thing is running 89 kilohertz down in the wash. Now, all the beach hunters that I have on here that run the Manicore, can you run beach low conductors down in the water without having to dial it back a whole lot? Or do you have to run surf and seawater? Gary in Daytona says surf and seawater works down in the wash better. So, this is an unknown, but I suspect that we might be able to hunt the surf with the antenna on with 89 kilohertz. If that is true, then that means that you will be running a frequency in the water that has never been ran before. So that means that if you're off the end of the beach in the water, you're hunting stuff and finding stuff in no man's land. Chains, small gold, etc., etc. And don't forget, guys, this 89 kilohertz, there seems to be this thing about the beach, and I've seen some stuff posted on one of the forums, and people, oh, I don't want to find small stuff. And they always move the goalpost. You know, it was on one of the forums that I got banned from, supposedly. And, you know, I was reading it, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Every time a product comes out from this company, you know, Mind Lab deserves our respect, Nocta deserves our respect, and XP deserves our respect. XP has done something with this coil. So if you're able to hunt in the water with 89 kilohertz, then that may give you an advantage that has never been seen before in the surf. Now, you guys seen that I was in the wash there, and that coil was really stable, and that was running at 95 salt sensitivity 8, 2 reactivity, and it's really, really stable coil. So, is it worth buying? You'll have to make that decision, Brian, but those are the pluses on the beach. One con of the coil at this point is the VDI on it. It's not right. So I think XP is going to adjust the VDI scale on it, and we'll see in the next update how that goes. And number 2, I had some negative effects with tracking ground balance on the beach in the first video I did that I took down because I think they're looking at the tracking ground balance on the beach to see if the parameters are correct. Manual, pumping it, thing performs like a champ. It's very, very stable on the sand, the EMI, hits small stuff. And let's talk about this for a moment. I want to say something real quick. And for all the people that were watching my video, I threw the Nocta triple score in the mix with these smaller coils. And right now, I wished I hadn't even have done that because it seemed to offend one guy a little bit, and he says, well, you didn't have it set up right. And let me just state this. I believe that Nocta products are the best bang for your money. And I've showed the triple score. I believe that is, if you're getting into the hobby, that is the best place to start money-wise, I believe. And that is my opinion on that. And I think that Nocta products, for what you get for the performance, and it is closer on land than the beach. When you start looking at the beach, the Noctas fall behind the Mind Labs and the Deus 2 because of the smaller stuff. But a Nocta with a stock coil will get that gold ring right there, which weighs, I've got a card here, which weighs 2.8 grams. I had it weighed. That gold ring right there weighs 2.8 grams, and it will get down there 10, 11 inches on that ring. Okay, that's plenty. For a $500 detector, that's extraordinary. So with that being said, Mind Lab and XP are ruling the beach on chains. This chain weighs 4.9 grams. Seems like the Mind Lab has a tougher time hitting it balled up than the Deus 2. You stretch it out, both of them will hit it stretched out. You see this little gold nugget here? Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it. I don't know if I can, but we're going to try to get the camera to focus on the nugget right there. You see that little gold nugget? Both machines will hit that on the beach. That little nugget weighs 0.31 grams. So that mimics, it's probably smaller than dental gold, and that thing will air test at about 5-6 inches on the Deus 2 and 88 kilohertz. So the ring and the nugget, the Manicore and the Deus 2 are close. I think that the chain goes to the Deus 2. Depth on the ring, they're close. It could possibly just a slight go to the Manicore, but they're really, really close. Both of those machines with those small coils hit that ring right there, 2.8 grams in the wet salt sand at 10 inches. Now watch this, respectively. Not no bippity bip bop bop, but respectively. So you may get another inch out of those machines on that ring. I didn't bury it down that much. I didn't do that test, but at 10 inches, it's respectable what both of those machines. So not only do you get the small stuff, you're going to dig some deep gold rings too. That's a smaller gold ring. So this whole deal about it's just about small stuff, no, it digs gold rings too. The stability's there. The footprint is 10 inches long, so I've been thinking about this versus the 9-inch coil. You know, what do you lose? You lose a little bit on the end swings, but other than that, you don't lose any name on the forward and aft. You know what I'm saying? So, Brian, I'm sorry. I hope that answers your question. Maybe that just confuses. That's good, Carson Chris. That's real good. The saloons. Do you plan on using that? Yes, I do. Do you have to have Yes, I am a certified diver. Yes. I wouldn't want to do that without being certified. You could get killed diving. Got my Deus 2 from Ryan yesterday, and HF is pre-ordered. Driving to Arkansas tomorrow, so I haven't been able to do anything but charge it and update firmware. So I'm taking it with me. There you go. That's what I was to hear. It won't kill you with this coil. Actually, let's do a demo. Let's do a demo in the house. I've got the mic on me. Now, I have to be careful. I will tell you something about this. You see this mic? For some reason, I've seen it with the other coils. This mic will affect the connection between the two, and it may do it now. Let me see if it does it. But it will affect, no, it connected. It connected. So, yes. You see the machine? Now, I'm close to the mic so you guys can hear it, right? Slash is coming out, boy. He's after it. Okay, I want to show you something, guys. I don't know if it's mirrored just right. It probably won't pick it up. But you're going to have to trust me on this. You see that sensitivity? Let's see here. There it goes. You hear anything? I hear a couple of little sputters. Let me get it real close. You hear anything? Pretty bad to the bone, right? We ain't never seen nothing like that, right? We've never seen anything like that, right? Well, let's just show you a comparison of the leader. Let me get the leader out right now. That's a 95 sensitivity. Let's get the leader out. Let's see what it does in here. Just to see. Let's see. Oh man, my doggone screen is up. You guys hear that? I don't know what program that is offhand, but it doesn't matter what program I use on the Deus 2. It's all, it's bad to the bone with the EMI mitigation. Let me see here. There's some old boat docks that I want to run this around by. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Have you heard anything about? I can neither confirm nor deny that, Johnny Rum. I can neither confirm nor deny that. But I would suspect if they was, I would have one. But I don't have one. I will confirm that. So, but they're competitive. Let's say this: they're competitive. So we'll see. We'll see. I use the M8 hookah diving for tour spot for fine gold using beach low conductor. Works well, but running about 15. Do you think the HTF? Well, if you're this may be a game changer there. If you're having to run beach low conductor to Jason, let me just stop right there. Let me go confirm that before I tell you that. Only thing I have is this right here. Let me show you this in case you joined late. This is 95 sensitivity, and if you know anything about the Deus 2, it has a salt setting on it, and it was set at 8, and this is a 2 reactivity. Let me show you this little beach clip and look where I'm at in the wash and look at the stability. I'm hunting 89 kilohertz. You guys can see it right here, so you know I'm not bull crapping. Salt sensitivity 8, reactivity 2. I'm hunting the wash, man. So, go figure. GoPro, stop recording. It's 89. Let's see what it does in the water. A little bit of... Dude, you can hunt with that in the water. I'm gonna have to come back and experiment with that because I believe that you could run that sucker. Let me confirm that, because I'm thinking that you're going to be able to get out in the water with this thing at a higher frequency and not have to dial it back as much. That's what I'm thinking, because off the top of my head, when I was running that test with that, I was thinking about the beach low conductors, and I was hunting with the M9 and 11-inch coil, and I was hunting down in the wash like that. One, I either had to dial it way back, or two, go to surf and seawater to get that stability. So it's very, very interesting, Jason. If that thing can be used for scuba diving in salt water without 89 kilohertz, that's going to be a game changer. But let me confirm that. I went and got another antenna, so I'm going to go out in the surf with it, and I'll let you know about that maybe probably next week live stream. We'll talk about it. So that will be very interesting. Yes, EMI is great. Is it beneficial to do the update to use it? I don't think so, BK. I would probably just wait unless you wanted to test out that new silencer setting. But like I said, you're going to pay a price on a Relic site with that new silencer setting. And I talked to Savon over at XP, and I asked him a question about this. I know, like lowering the lowers and all this, these guys are doing these tricks. Look, I don't want to dig every iron signal on the beach. So I have no interest in lowering the Manicore lower all the way out. You know what I mean? They said, oh, lower it all. No, that's not metal detecting to me. These machines are able to discriminate and still see chains. And, you know, so just know that lowering that negative silencer won't gain you anything on the beach as far as depth on the chain. It only has to do with iron unmasking, and be prepared to get you, to be prepared for what's going on. You can use that setting for advanced users. I wouldn't recommend a beginner put his Deus 2 in -3 and go out there. You could use it, but you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll give you a ride. So Buddy took it to the beach. He come back and he reported to me that it was excellent. So the very same things that Buddy saw, I saw. I just ran it a little bit hotter. Buddy likes to run his at 6. So I could imagine that it was, look, it's the best coil as far as stability and EMI mitigation. It's the best coil I've ever seen on the beach. Am I going to tell you that it's going to beat an M8 coil on every ring depth? No, I'm not going to tell you that. But if you own a Deus 2, me and Sharpshooter was talking about this. If you got the Manicore with the M8 coil, do you need to buy the Deus 2? It's up to you. But if you just own a Deus 2, it's another tool for the arsenal, and it's such a good tool, especially think about the urban. We need to get the VDIs closer. They need to do that. They're looking at a couple of other things on it. But they need to get those VDIs closer for the coin shooter, because the coin shooter will be able to utilize that coil so much hunting around houses. It's bad. You've seen it, 95 sensitivity in my house. I mean, it's bad to the bone. I mean, there ain't, let's see here. Version 3, I had success raising disc up a bit around 9 and lower silencer around 0. Minimal faults, no iron nails. Any faults would be garbled and inconsistent. I prefer 3 over 1. Okay. Well, Colonial King, here's the deal. And I'm going to share my findings, and maybe yours is different. What I found is if I use negative silencer and then raise the disc up that high, I basically am better off using a silencer of 2 and a disc of 6.8. It unmasks better on my test with a silencer of 2, and I run it to 6.4 sometimes. So 6.4 to 6.8, I find that it has better unmasking than a -3 at a disc of 9. Actually, it has better unmasking a -3. Once you start going about 7.5, the unmasking capabilities start falling off. So remember that those two settings work, hand in hand with one another. And when you raise the discrimination, even though you lower the silencer, it knocks out your unmasking capabilities. So now if you can use a standard like a 6.8 and run a -3, then you will gain some unmasking. But like I've said already, you will pay the price. So you guys that are thinking about this negative silencer, if you're having to raise a disc, you're probably just better off using a standard silencer, like a 2 or 1, and running a standard disc of like 6.4 to 6.8. Your unmasking will be better. That's at least my findings, and I think Sharpshooter would probably concur with that. And Mother Love, yes, it will be very, very interesting to see how this thing does. Has been a positive for them. It has. I run into that problem, so I put a video out, and I hate that I did it. You guys know that I always test, or I use on my beach programs with the Manicore, I like that tracking stuff, and I've never seen it track out a target that I've tested. But when I tested the ground balance tracking, the first video I did of the Deus 2 versus the Manicore, the Deus 2 was acting erratic, which XP's looking at the tracking ground balance. As soon as I went back and I started messing around with the pumping manual ground balance, it was a night and day difference. So I reported that to them, but that was kind of a negative for me, because I put up a video and then everybody's like, I was like, man, well, how did you guys, we know these beta versions have bugs. And they released it with a beta version. How do we feel about that? How do I feel about it? But at least we got the coil, and it's kind of seems to be the thing that's going on in the industry today. We're working with the companies on the betas, and hey, it's actually fun, right? I mean, that part of it could be fun. Like, it gives you something to do too. And there's pros and cons to it. But no, I didn't, buddy. I didn't. I was so busy hunting. I wanted to hunt with that machine. I wanted to see what it could do hunting. Oh, and here's another aspect of it. The nuance on the bottle cap is there. I dug a few deep bottle caps, but I tested the bottle cap reject on it. Worked fine, but you can hear a nuance on bottle caps. They give us hollow, echoey sound, and sometimes they give an iron buzz on them, but it's like this forcey. You'll hear it. Well, that's me using pitch, so you guys will have to figure out what full tone sounds like, but there is a nuance on the bottle caps. They contacted me yesterday, haven't received any to ship out for serious detecting. Okay, I know Ryan didn't get a whole lot either. Okay, let's see here. Jason says, I've been running the Deus 2 3-point update on heavy black sand beats. 3.3 update has changed the Deus in black sand for the worse for me. Almost unusable. Only beach program that was good was Dive. Did you report that to XP? You should send them an email about that. I wonder if it's, I don't know. I don't have the black sand to check, so I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see how this HF2 coil handles it with a higher frequency. I know this much. Let's see if I have this footage. I may have erased the crap. Hold on a minute. I was going to show you something. I may have erased it. Dang it, did I erase it? Let me kick up a new screen. Give me just a second, guys. Let me kick up a new screen here. Okay, let me kick up a new screen. Let me put this video on here. Let's see what this does. Okay, this is, look at this dirt. That's full bar dirt. Let me pull up this other video. Let me see if I can show it. Yeah, here we go. Check this one out. Full bars maxed out. Musket ball. Ground stability setting has to be lowered to 1 to get the depth. See that dirt go to 82?
Okay.
It's pretty rough. Watch ground stability of 1. I was just going to show that because that needs to be reinforced. If you got hotter dirt, the ground stability may help you with depth. Now it could cause erratic behavior too, according to how hot your dirt is. So with that being said, just keep that in mind. But Jason, that's an interesting piece of data there. Do you have any way of videoing any of that, like with a cell phone or something, and emailing me a video of it doing that? You know, that's the best way. When you're dealing with these companies, if you can take a cell phone video of what you're doing and send it to them, XP will get their engineers on it. I think that's the best way. So if you guys run into any problems, take a little 20-second clip of it and tell them what it is, or a minute clip, and send it to them. Not triple, yes, fun detector. Graham nuggets found with my PI, wondering how the Deus 2 would do. That'd be very interesting to see in that hot dirt. Gold field on some colonial sites. I know we're owned by wealthy people. That'd be interesting. Well, hey, I appreciate it, Brian. Disappeared when I turned my GoPro on to live. I've had, yeah, well, if you got Bluetooth on, you can. So I cut the Bluetooth off on my GoPro. I'm pretty sure it will be much better after an update. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. My dogs love my detectors too, yeah. Yeah, if 88 is this close, I'm pretty sure 53 will be very doable. So that will be something to think about. I don't know how far behind on the comments I've gotten. Rob, my Deus 2, I need to use a stock stem for the HF coil. What is the best remote clip for the stock shaft? This was printed by JD's Detectors in Little River, South Carolina. This one right here, I think this one is, well, he's got the same model similar to this. JD's Metal Detectors in Little River, South Carolina. I don't have his number right offhand, I don't think. But if you call him, he will sell you one of those and ship it to you. So tell him Calabash told you to call if you do. But I've had good luck. I actually got his on my dive shaft, which is very similar to this one. But he's got a couple of different configurations, but he'll print you one and mail it right out. So I'm lucky to have that to be able to get those. So that's the best. That's what I use right there for the stock shaft. So early 8 buttons yesterday, 1 silver plate, the other 2 flat buttons. How would you clean it? Oh, very, very carefully. As little as possible, but you could take like one of the sponges that's abrasive with a little bit of Dawn, if it's brass, and just rub it real easy. And it'll get to where it comes out. I'll show you this. It'll start shining up like, well, something like that. So it's focusing. Yeah, there it is. It'll start shining up like that. But let's see here. -3, 70ths. Yeah, it can get noisy, but after a while you can really hear the difference. Yeah. Just ran it today on a clone. I really enjoyed the coil. Still a lot of questions, but I think it's going to fit right in the lineup. Yeah, I mean, that's what I need to know. Is 88 beneficial, Paul, over 53, or are we better off just running 53 with that footprint? A lot of things to learn there and figure out, but we're on our way. You know what I mean? We're on our way. Town that was found, everything is iron fest, and hoping that the HF will give me an edge. Yeah, you know what? It might down there. I mean, that EMI is a big deal. I know where you live, John, and that EMI is a big deal down there. So, you know, seems any program was there extremely consistent false and 30 to 40 VDI kept up. Yeah, report that to them because they're, like I said, remember that there's the ground balance in this update could be tweaked. You know, these betas, man, I mean, they affect a lot of stuff, and that's one of the things behind the scenes, and I guess that's one of the things of testing the beta in the public. You get a lot more eyeballs on it, you know, doing that like that. I would never have called that because, like I said, I don't have black sand. Yes, he is a good guy to deal with, Clay. Mini ball 2 hours north of Toronto. Wow, that's crazy. Tomorrow I'll take a clip of it. Yeah, okay, I must be way behind on the comments. I apologize, guys. You're welcome, Carson. Aren't attracted to yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Reach out to me. I'll send you a head to use everyone who... Do you make them too, Dirt Devil Detected? If you do, go ahead and tell them. Do you make them too? Hey, I appreciate it, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Beach Club. I appreciate that. That right there helps pay for the gas I burned today. Did you say, man, it come a rain on us today. Hey, let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys my finds from the last dive in the beach. So these were my last dives when me and Flagman was out, like, what was it, last week, and what all we found there. So check this out, guys. Let me show you these finds real quick. Let me switch my camera over. And yes, I cannot wait to use this coil diving. But let's see. Oh yeah, here we go, guys. Feast your eyes on this load. Yeah. Let me turn my camera this way. Uh-oh, it froze. Are you kidding? Resume. There we go. You guys see that? That's a shoulder scale off of a Civil War soldier's uniform. There's other pieces. Man, I'm all discombobulated. Other pieces of the scale. Look at all the mini balls. Yeah. Large cent. Walking Liberty half. I got to clean it a little bit. I may just leave it like that, but I found it on the same site. Brass button. A key. This is the ring. I found 2 rings. I gave one of them to a little kid on the beach. This may be real. I don't know if that's silver or what. I need to take a closer look at it. I wish this was real. That would have paid for the whole trip. But yeah, you guys see the finds there, what I found. That shoulder scale, oh, this is off like a knife. So this is the hand guard off the Bowie knife to where it wouldn't get down and cut your hand. But that is my finds from the last trip. So I almost got 2 shoulder scales, but one of them was broke apart. But check that thing out, man. Really cool, right? Let me kick it back over here to the screen. All right, guys. Let's see here. Nooks and crannies. Let's see here what we got here. Nook for us, cellar hole 100 HF attic can be bad plus better isolation. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm I'm still fired up about that, but I've been testing the smell detector, so really wanted to try to acquire some data on it. I'm trying to think, did I miss anything on it about how it behaves? You believe this live stream got a thumb down? You wonder who that is. What are you even doing here? Oh, you need information. How does it feel to have to come here to get information? Thumbs down. Hey, there's 76 people in here. Give me a thumbs up and help me with the YouTube algorithm, please. Yeah, that big scale, that was a cool find, man. As soon as I seen that laying on the bottom, I was like, holy cow. I knew exactly what it was, and I had to put it in a bag. It's fragile. I mean, I'm going to go get a case, and all that stuff that you see is going in one case because that come from one area. Literally one area. And there was a lot going on right there. Yeah, I think it's silver too, buddy. I really do. I think it's silver, but I'm trying to think. Can I tell you anything else about this coil? EMI could hunt the heavy iron. Cons, the VDI is too high. on coins and stuff. They need to get that tapered down a little bit. I don't know how much they'll be able to get it tapered down, but we'll see. Maybe they can improve it some. On the beach, probably one of the baddest. I don't know another machine that beats it, like for stability and EMI cap. There's nothing. The Manicore I've always touted as the best. It got ousted by this Coil. But I would like to see, how would we like to see a 9-inch coil design like this, or 11-inch coil design like this, or something similar with its EMI handling capabilities? That would be, I would get in line for one of those real quick. But I will be using this coil. I never was a big fan of the Deus HF1 coil. I just didn't I like that round 9-inch coil, high frequency coil better back then. But this coil here is definitely the EMI handling capabilities alone I'm going to use it. But it handles the iron too. That was a rough cob site. Oh, and I did go to another site in a previous video that's heavy iron, modern trash mix, and I pulled a bunch of non-ferrous targets out of it too. So there's a trending pattern there, 2 relic hunts on it, pulling non-ferrous targets from hard hit sites. Yes, I would love to see an HF 9-inch coil. I really would, with these EMI handling capabilities like that, man. It would just be absolutely amazing. But I guess, guys, I don't know what else to say. If you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask them, because I'm going to kick off at about an hour. My wife's going out of town, and we got a few minutes, but when will they be available? I don't know. That I don't know. But I will keep bringing data on it. We will keep talking about updates, improvements, pros, cons, and all that good stuff. We'll be looking at it really, really hard. I was thinking, does anybody know what this is? Is this a powder flask cap? Is that what this is? A powder, like it's screwed right on the powder flask. You guys see it? Is that what that is? I kind of think that's what it is. I'm thinking that's what it is. I might be wrong, but I would like to find the powder flask too. But are you guys, is that everything? Does anybody, yeah, somewhere you would think so. I'm going to go back and dive that again. The conditions have to be right to dive that. But yeah, hey man, I appreciate all you guys joining me and listen to me ramble on. But we've got some good information on this coil now. If you're hunting the beach or hunting with this coil right now, I'd be mindful of the tracking ground balance. Look at it a little bit. See what it's doing in your soil. And I haven't heard back from them on that yet, but they did tell me that they will keep me informed on future updates and all. So we'll see how all that unfolds. I know that they're working on it, man. They, that company is very good. I got a guy, and I've said this before. So I've talked to the owner, and I talked to another guy. Well, all of them. I've talked to all of them, but they got another guy with this beta version, man, and he's like the beta guru guy over there. You find something, you got a question, you hit him up, man, and he'll be back on the email. As long as it's not midnight, he'll get right back to you with an answer. And if you don't, you know what I mean? It's just a really, really, XP is a top-notch company. I mean, and, for those critical people of that coil and saying it's bull crap and all of that, it has no use, and those idiots, well, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. It has use on the beach. It has use in iron. It could have use for coin hunting. It has its place. And you know what's funny? Some of those idiots saying that type stuff will own one before it's all said and done. Some people are just slow learners and low IQ. And they know who they are because they're probably watching right now. Hey, you guys, I appreciate all of you. Let's see what else I was going to say. I think that's it, man. I want to hang out a little while longer. I got Slash. He's finally calmed down. He's laying right here on the floor asleep. Hold on, I'll show you my big old dog. That's what we'll look at real quick. Let me pull up my iPhone. See where he's at? Yeah, he's a big old baby, man. Smart. Oh my gosh, he's smart. I took him to the beach with me, man. He is. People see me training him out on the beach, and he's a smart dude, man. Bullheaded now. He can get bullheaded, and I have to watch him with my wife. He'll try to run over her because he's a boy. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh no, she told you to do something. You know, you got to do it. But but other than that, he's just like a little kid. He'll get them little. You know how your little kid used to get in little moods. Dog, same way. He'll get. I'm looking at that camera, and I should be talking to this one. But yeah, love that dog, man. He loves us. He's gotten real. You know, where he'll alert us when somebody comes up at the house. Man, he's a good dog. I'm glad that we got him. But hey, you guys, I'm gonna tell everybody bye. I appreciate the money, Beach Club, and I appreciate it a lot. You guys out there, have a great hunt. As soon as it'll be later on this week before I get any more intel and information up before I get it posted. I'll probably get that hunting video up, and I'll go ahead and spoiler alert. There's no great finds in it, but you'll get to see some live digs and hear the machine over targets in the wild, in the heavy iron. I appreciate all you guys, and y'all have a great night.